time to fly. Hey guys, it's Choppy Flops. It's been a while. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are doing very well so far. I know I'm doing great now that the holidays are over. Woo! But of course, with a new year comes a new me, and what a better way to start it off than by complaining. But in all seriousness though, obviously, I watched The Matrix over the holiday season when it came out. I was super excited for it. I've been a huge fan of The Matrix ever since I was younger. I love it. I don't know what else to say about it. Every time I sit down to watch them, I can't help but just sit on the edge of my seat, like as if I'm watching a new movie that I've never seen before. And I can't watch one without watching all three and the Animatrix. I feel like they all go best together as a whole. And really, that's all I wanted from this new Matrix movie, and I was very cautiously optimistic going into it, and well, I have a lot to say about it. So I mainly have 3 talking points that I want to go over today in this video, and I'm going to go over the first 2, and then the third one, towards the end, I'm going to go over something that I feel would have kind of really fixed this movie and gave it that extra oomph that it needed, that at least would have made me love it. Alright, so without further ado, I can't get this off my mind, so let's talk The Matrix. Okay, so the first thing I want to get into is, there's something to be said about using nostalgia to evoke emotion from people when they're watching a movie. I mean, if you look around, there are plenty of examples out there of movies that do this extremely well, but there's also something to be said about surrounding that nostalgia with actual substance. You have to actually have something that it creates a story, something that's worth watching. If all you have is a bunch of callbacks and things that are just saying, hey, remember that thing you loved, remember how good that thing was, then you're just going to make me want to watch that thing. Huge thing this brings to mind is Rogue One. Everything in Rogue One is, hey, look, Star Wars, but all it makes me want to do is watch other older Star Wars movies. The Matrix suffers the same fate because, unfortunately, every time you're sitting there watching it, I mean, it literally flashes back to pieces of the other movie that they're trying to recreate, and it's like, just make something new. There's no reason to just, sit there and retread and do the same old thing that you did before. It's no wonder that one of the directors literally just didn't want to come back at all because they said they didn't want to go back and retread the past. That's literally what this movie is. Again, you can do that. You can evoke those things from the past to bring forth emotion and really, make it powerful. A great example that just came out is Spider-Man: No Way Home. It uses nostalgia, no spoilers or anything, but it uses nostalgia in a bunch of huge ways that make you, laugh and cry and everything else and have every other emotion. But the story itself, the movie itself as a whole, is good. You sit there and you're on the edge of your seat, you're wanting to see what happens, you're watching it, and you're just like, wow. Oh my God! Wow! I love this. Even if you don't know all the things that come before it. It's still just a good movie that has nostalgia in it. But in The Matrix, when you have a scene where you literally walk into a theater and the better, older movie that you're trying to recreate is playing in the background, it feels like a slap in the face to all the people who wanted something new and fresh and something that would extend to the lore and bring forth some good stuff to The Matrix. And that brings me to another point that I wanted to go over involving the substance and the nostalgia. There are a few things I did love about this movie, but it's only because of the fact that it felt like they were nods to Matrix fans. And that's cool, but it was only that. the great things, you know, that the new Morpheus Smith amalgamation character, he was portrayed terrifically. He was amazing. The whole idea of how they resurrected Neo and Trinity, it made a lot of sense, and it was like, okay, cool. And some of those moments felt like they were evoking imagery from the Animatrix and from the Second Renaissance Part 2. Oh my god, I cannot believe I couldn't remember that. That's like my favorite thing in The Matrix. Anyway, there's a lot of good to be had that feels like it's there for us fans, like that. And there are a few other things that are references to the Animatrix. The whole reverse bullet time sequence, Neil Patrick Harris's whole portrayal and his whole character. There were a lot of good things, but that were just nods to the fans. When all you're doing is pandering to the fans and saying, hey, look, remember this, remember that, your movie just becomes nothing but nostalgia. I mean, you have to think, when you're making a movie like this, it's nostalgia versus substance. Okay. This next part hurts a little bit. I don't typically watch marketing. I try not to. But with this one, I can't lie to you. I was really excited. So anytime a new trailer or something dropped and I just happened to stumble into it, I'd go ahead and watch it. I didn't go searching it out, but I did watch some stuff. And like I said, we went to go see No Way Home. And during that, there was a new trailer. And it was the I Still Know Kung Fu trailer. It was my first time seeing it. And, man, when I saw him go, I still know Kung Fu, I was like, oh, boy, shit, I cannot wait to see this. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see that combat scene, wherever that comes into play, when he just, bam, I still know Kung Fu. Like, I was sure that there was going to be some badass finisher line. It's put literally in the middle of the combat scene, dude. And it's just like he's confused about it. It's not like he's saying it like some badass. He's saying it like, I still know Kung Fu. And I mean, maybe that's on me for seeing it wrong or mishearing it whenever it was in the trailer. But it just seems so out of character. I mean, I don't know. He was a bumbling idiot in the first movie. But still, Neo became an absolute badass. And there's just too much rediscovering himself. And it just feels like an absolute retread. And I'm getting off topic, but the point that I'm trying to get at is he still knows Kung Fu, but he absolutely does not. Every single fight, every single hit and everything, sure, he might like know the moves and everything, but if you hit someone and it's a really cool badass move, but then the hit connects and it goes, sorry, not very exciting. I don't know what the hell it was that they were thinking about the choreography in this movie, but I mean, the choreography is not even that bad, but the hits, the blows, everything lands so soft, and it feels like nothing matters. There's no stakes, no nothing. They play it safe, and just, like I said, the fights are so boring because of the fact that, like, every single hit lands like that, or like that, and they're like, oh, and they overly dramatically flail and fly back or some crazy nonsense, and it's just like, why? Hey guys, I totally forgot to mention this, but another thing I absolutely hate about the combat scenes is pretty much every single one just boils down to, oh no, Neo's getting his ass kicked, or they can't hit Neo because he's gaining energy, and he just does a force push and blows somebody back, and that's pretty much how every single combat scene ends. Again, it kind of just goes along with the fact that there's no real substance or stakes to anything in here, but yeah, I just forgot to put that in the video. Wanted to make sure I mentioned it. Why not actually make it? The Matrix movies used to have impact. Agent Smith and Neo would hit each other and you'd go, "Pwah!" And they're, dude, you'd feel that through the screen. But now it's just nothing, man. Man, screw this movie. Anyway, it just sucks that a movie that was meant to have so much action and a movie that's known for so much action and groundbreaking special effects and all sorts of other awesome stuff just completely shit the bed. And the only thing that it really feels is trying to be like kind of be similar to the old movies is crap CGI, and there's only crap CGI in like 2 or 3 scenes that were really noticeable. I mean, The Matrix was known for its groundbreaking CGI. This should have done the same, but just came nowhere close. Okay, so my third point, Hugo Weaving. So, I haven't really done the research, and I haven't really, specifically seen any quotes or anything like that. But from what I've read out there, from what I have stumbled upon, the articles I have seen, it sounds like he was willing to come back, and they just didn't. They just wanted him to come back, but weren't willing to reschedule, and it was scheduling conflicts, so they just recast and made him like a different version of Smith or whatever. Okay, so let me get this out there in the air first. I didn't like New Smith at first. He grew on me after a little while. I understand the idea of having him be a new digitized version and something that Neo won't recognize, and I don't think that he did a bad job. Those things out of the way, why not bring Hugo Weaving back for the final scene? Now, this is what I meant by what I think would have hugely given this movie that extra oomph that it needed. One of the biggest, best descriptions I've seen online about this movie was on a comment on a Mr. Sunday's Movies video. Someone said, this movie feels like booting up a game that you've already beat and finishing all the side quests that are just loose ends. And I couldn't agree more. That comment also said that it feels like it's a movie in search of conflict at multiple times, and that's also true. This movie does so much. It has so much interesting things, like the war between the machines, for energy, because there's an energy scarcity. The machines turning, some of the machines working with the humans, just like in the Animatrix. The idea of the resurrection, the fact that they can just restructure genetic code and restructure someone's brain and entire body. There's a lot of great ideas in this that go just nowhere. And I know that I'm sure this movie is a kicking off point for a new trilogy, and if that's the case and the whole trilogy as a whole ends up being this awesome, grandiose thing, awesome, cool, whatever. But as of right now, you're not even making me want to watch 2 more movies. You're not even making me want to watch a short film continuing on from this, because this is crap. All you had to do was have Hugo Weaving, and you can't tell me you couldn't have made some arrangement to have him on set for a day or 2. That's absolute bullshit. The fact that I also heard that the producers or directors or whoever were planning on making this movie if none of the cast came back tells me right there that they didn't care. That once Hugo Weaving said, "Oh no, I've got something else scheduled," they said, "All right, well, we don't need you then." And that pisses me off beyond belief, because you could have had him on set for 1 day, and then how they were flickering in between all of the different shots and stuff like that from like the old movie and this movie. They could have easily had the new Smith walking into frame after like fucking essentially saving Neo and Trinity at the end, and then have him walk in and have it flickering back and forth between one of the shots of Agent Smith walking into a room, like walking into the room for the interrogation or something, and then have it flickering back and forth. And then whenever it shows the front side of him, it flickers back and forth, but then it, instead of staying on New Smith like it would earlier in the movie, it stays on Old Smith in the new environment, and it's Hugo Weaving, and Smith got his body back. He's back. He's upgraded, but he's back in his original form. Then we could have had a badass Neo versus Smith fight, or even Trinity versus Smith fight, or Neo and Trinity versus Smith fight. Oh, and it would have been so sick. But instead, we just got a retread of the third movie's ending. And it's like, dude, come on, you could... This whole movie feels like they were trying to retread an entire trilogy and an anthology film in one short 2-hour sitting, or 2.5-hour sitting, and it just, I don't know, they put no love and care into this at all, and it just sucks. An honorable mention for another thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I feel like they didn't do enough with the Morpheus Smith amalgamation. I feel like it would have been better if we would have found out real Morpheus was still alive, or even if like there was some recorded message or something, and the new Morpheus went went to the shrine of him or something. I don't know. It felt like there was so little actually done with the new Morpheus, and really, I guess that's where the whole movie falls short, is it feels like there's so little done with just about everything. So, in conclusion, I guess, this movie, it had some fun things in it, it had some ideas, it had a lot of ideas, and a lot of concepts that would have been cool to see fleshed out in a better way. It added a few things to the lore, but not nearly enough, and it just, after 20 years, felt like an absolute disappointment. My hopes is that eventually they do make a couple more movies and it clears this up. I don't know. I don't really even know if I want another movie from them. At this point, I'd rather just kind of act like this one doesn't exist and watch The Matrix how I love it. I don't know. I do want to watch it again, maybe a couple times. Maybe it'll age well down the road. I know the second movie was abhorred whenever it, got released back in the day. So we'll see. But until then, you can go ahead and just plug me back in. I'm going to go back into the Matrix and hopefully just try to forget that any of this ever happened. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. It definitely helps out the channel. Please share this with somebody who's into the Matrix or who likes these kind of commentary videos or movie review channels. I would love it. It would definitely help me out a little bit. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. It's the start of a new year, so we can go anywhere from here. Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see, what kind of videos y'all are into. I really enjoyed my Abraham Lincoln video in that style. This one's probably going to be a different format, how everything is that I do. Never stick to one. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great New Year. I hope you guys had a great holiday season. I know that everything's kind of getting scary again out there, so hope everybody's staying home, being safe. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys have a spectacular day.